Good morning, everyone. Today is August 4th, 2020. My name is Justin, also known as Seronian of Seronian Gaming. Previous videos were a little about the Gen Con deal, which Gen Con FFG's in-flight report. So right off the bat, I'm excited. More for the Separatists, which is ironic, but that's because Darth Maul and the Sith probe droids. That's pretty cool. You have the Separatist Specialist, which is multiple droids. I have the deal up here right now. Which, for me, the fact that Darth Maul has like three lightsaber poses, 2 face poses, I think it was, and that's easily. I mean, that's one where it's like it's before him, it's behind him. That's a lot of modeling deal right there. Okay, so this is just that's excited about that. But this is a video about the wish list. For me, dude, I'm excited for what FFG is doing. I wish they had the Star Wars RPG license still. I would make the video for them as well too, but this is for Legion. So, in my opinion, right off the bat, and this was something I was thinking about over the last few hours, was because you have the Republic, you have the Separatists, you have the Empire, you have Rebel Alliance, you can make I guess it's 3 areas. First one is transfaction units. More importantly for this one, transfaction would be like the big one off bat at the time was Wookiees. Okay, Battle of Kashyyyk to be more precise. So Battle of Kashyyyk, that's where we can take the Wookiee unit from the Rebel side and be like, yeah, here's a upgrade card where you can bring them into a Clone Wars Republic army. Pure and simple. You can also have where Chewbacca. I think he served at he served at Kashyyyk as well too. So he was there in defense of his home. Great, awesome. That's awesome work. And then what else there was? I mean, come on with the new units. So transfaction units. So Wookiees are the first one because they're the obvious. They served in the Alliance. They served in the Republic. Great that way. Another unit, even though, he's also there. The model's also out for the Empire as well too, for faction rating. And because I already said it, it's gonna be interesting. And that is, let me pull it up, the Emperor Palpatine unit. Okay, Emperor Palpatine. Now, on one hand, should he be, does he need to be released? Not necessarily. But for me, Emperor Palpatine, he could also be re-released as well too. And I think I'm looking at the list right now. Royal Guard as well too could be re-released. Be re-released for the Republic and the Empire. Okay. For Emperor Palpatine, it's actually, funny enough, 3 units. Okay, 3 factions. So we have the Empire, obvious. Well, Chancellor Palpatine. Chancellor Palpatine is Republic. Okay. I didn't really do a whole lot for that one, but in essence, you have Emperor Palpatine, Chancellor Palpatine, and then Darth Sidious. Okay. Now, with those 3 guys, you could have it where different poses, different weapons, different abilities. Okay, let's face it, Chancellor Palpatine is very much the grandfatherly, non-confrontational, very wise, until he's alone, and then he gets scary. Yeah. Darth Sidious, he's also very scary. In fact, I could see Darth Sidious being both commander and an operative. And the reason why I say that is that he did go off by himself. I mean, if you're a fan of the Clone Wars, I didn't see the episodes. I watched bits and pieces of it. I've seen the scene where he shows up on Mandalore, kills a savage Ventress, or what was that? Darth Maul's brother, tortures Darth Maul, and then leaves. And he does that consistently. So that's like the first. Those are like the big units right off the bat. So FFG, if you're listening to this video and you're saying, you know what, how do transfaction units go for it? seriously, go for it, because that's going to be something that's going to be useful. That's going to be something that's going to be add a unique twist to the game. This also gives some, in essence, some extra life to old units that were previously came out that no one, people are like, yeah, it's not as flashy, but then you show up like, oh yeah, here's a unit of clone troopers. They're dangerous. Here's a group of Wookiees. They're also dangerous. Put them together. Boom. It's like, oh, who do I take out first? I hate to say it like that, but seriously. And then you also have the Boba Fett operative expansion, which can be here and there. I'm just scrolling down a little bit more. Let's see, neutral expansions. You have the battlefield, yada yada. I think was it for Separatist Alliance? You have Dooku, Cad Bane, Darth Maul. So you don't really have a whole lot there for that Boba Fett, though I could easily say Jango Fett, but then he wasn't really part of the CIS, so I can see why there might be some differentials right there. So you may not want to bring him in, but that's something to throw out as well too. Now, speaking of Boba Fett, Jango Fett, a fifth faction, and this one is where you have it where they're a fifth faction, but they're not really. They're mercenaries. This is where it just something to get out, new models. Be like, yeah, here's a Trandoshan unit. I mean, you have for, let's see, Boss Operative for Legion for the Empire, but he can easily be, have him be a fifth unit. Okay, same with Jango Fett, even though not a whole lot there. And have it where, these are the mercenary units. These are the Tusken Raiders. Have it where, while not a, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a word is viable I'm looking for, or just characterful, or iconic. Actually, iconic is probably the best one. Iconic military force, where you have the Tusken Chief and the Bantha Riders and the Tusken Raiders. You have 3 units, and I don't know how you would go about getting operatives, and I'd probably say heavy would be it, I would say. But in all honesty, I mean, that's something that can be useful. It can be iconic. They have the Dubak Rider, so it's like, here's something that may not have a heavy unit, but it's like, this is something more careful. And then you can have where it's like, they might have, some additional weapons or something along that line. So you have, right off the bat, those guys. One thing that they did not mention for the Galactic Republic that I have not noticed, I don't think they've shown at all yet, and this is only because if we're going back to episode 1. Now that's the other thing too. Episode 1. Okay, so if we're gonna bring some of the prequel trilogy stuff, and we have episode 2, episode 3. Let's look at episode 1. Right off the bat, MTT. That's a huge unit. I doubt it. That's gonna be on the same scale as the AT-AT, but the MTT. Hey, that's something right there. The let's see. They already have the destroyer droids. They have, so really the only thing that they could probably do is maybe the Vulture droid, to a Walker version of that, which is awesome. That one I would probably buy up as well too. I've had a few Hasbro stuff that is iconic, but it's like, no, it's too big. So there's that part. But for the Republic, that's where you get the Naboo security forces. They already have the Naboo fighter out, so that's good right there. You have the Gungans. You have the various weapons that the Gungans use. So that's an iconic army right there. Viable? No, probably not. It's not going to be viable. It's not going to be fast. It's going to be very slow. It's going to be very formation heavy. It's going to be very blocky. But that's where we get a little more. For a neutral deal would probably be going off what they had for the neutral. Let's see, let me pull it up. The Vital Assets Battlefield expansion. This is the where it has the Nemeodian, the was it 2 hostages, an Nemeodian, and the counselor. You have the 6 bombs, 6 crates, and 2 pallets. That one I would say come up with I don't know whether to call it a mercenary pack, because we have the Mandalorian. We have, make a Vital Assets 2. and then have where go back, go make character packs, have a whatever you want to add to it for force and all. Actually, no, one thing that did come up that I'm looking at, I just remembered, is that from SO3 you do have the various counselors, the various CIS faction units. The Geonosians had their units, so that's something that come out for Separatists. So there's a lot here that can come out, and it's a huge. I mean, I'm going on 10 minutes, and I'm still excited. So we're at that. I'm excited for what they're doing with Star Wars Legion. I'm excited. I mean, I was blown away that for Darth Maul you get a lot. You get not just him, but you also get the probe droids, which is 3 of those, and I'll admit I like those. Those are something I would, for me as a GM and as a player, it's like that's where I would use those droids as a sort of like hey, they're new be perception. Okay, that's where they're basically a minion group, but it's like that's what their job is. Their job is work together to make sure that we're not being followed, that we're good to go. Okay. Now, does that make the group size bigger? Yes. Are they louder? Yes. I'm gonna fully admit that. But when they're synchronized, they get better. So that's something that should be right off bat. The fact that you have the Separatist Specialist pack, that's going to be something major right there. I mean, the fact that you get let me just pull it up. I already have it up. Never mind. But it just when you have the worker droid, that's pretty cool. PK series tactical droid. Oh, and by the way, tactical droid, either as a commander or an operative, probably commander, but Ada doesn't have to be a super tactical droid. In this case, General Kalani. Have be like a named programmable droid that's on. It has a specific, a name behind it. Okay, have the name is, here's General Kalani. He has this ability. Here's this other officer droid. He has this ability, and then you'll have it where it's going to be different types and everything. The same can be said for the OM droids, B1 battle droids, where they have their own little separate deal, which. I don't know how I feel about them coming out with OM droids, and it's just, hey, here's a battle droid in a new position with a new pose or new equipment. I'm not excited for that. I'm very much like, do I really care for doing it? Is it something I'm going to want to spend $15-$20 on and get that? But as is, I mean, tactical battle droid, good. The little Viper droid that they have is good there. You have the EV droid that's going to be useful there. Let's see. And a Viper Recon droid. Now, the Viper droid is going to be good. The EV series medical droid, that's going to be interesting. Now, if FFG, you're hearing this and you see that, okay, what about Nemeodian troopers and Geonosians? That's going to be the one that's going to lock her and be like, oh, now this is going to be interesting. Now, whether or not it's going to be, how fast it goes, how slow it goes, so on and so forth. That's, yeah. The fact that Geonosians have the fly ability. I'm going to be very, and that's going to be probably something that's going to be more like special forces, even though they're not special forces. So, it's going to be interesting how they pull that stuff. Now, as far as wish list goes, I mean, right off the bat for Rebels, I don't know. I mean, the Rebel Alliance, there's not a whole lot I can safely say that they need. Then again, probably right off the bat is going to be like a transport, something better than the X-34 land speeder unit. You have plenty of stuff in Legends that can be easily done for that. You have, let's see, the Cassian Endor and the K2SO commander, which, okay, whatever, looks like Luke Skywalker operative expansion, whatever. Rebel Troopers upgrade, yeah. The Tauntaun Riders, maybe. Rebel Veterans unit, and whatever, whatever. It's very much, I guess a big one for me would be weapon kits, if that makes sense, personnel kits, to be able to change out various troopers from for example, for the Rebel Troopers, their the laser cannon defense team expansion. Yeah, the P Tower as well too. So that's one that can be brought up. You have the Veterans Trooper expansion, which has the guy with the heavy laser blaster. Let's see. You have the E-Web. Being able to exchange guys for that one, that'll be good too, in my opinion. That's just because, hey, just for thematic. So that's up to you as well too. So, but yeah, this is going for a little longer. But yeah, I mean, right off the bat, FFG, you're doing a great job. Okay, you're doing a better job. I was excited for a lot you put out. Do I wish that there was some bigger stuff? Some people are asking for the AT-AT, which I totally understand why you may not be a fan for it, but this is where we can try and say it looks like we have someone watching as well too. Great, awesome. But this is where you're doing a great job. You're doing a lot better job than what Wizards of the Coast did, and that was because they were going for all random units. Unit cards that didn't really have any, modifications. You didn't really do a whole lot with. And the fact that we have a sort of war game type deal and all. Granted, there's some things I'm not a big fan of, but that's okay. So let's go this route. I mean, let's see what you can do. I mean, if you want to take some ideas, drop a line. And people that are interested in this, let me know. Let me know what you think, because really this is what comes down to where FFG need the support. We need to look at Asmodee Games and be like, look, as much as you might want to not take the Star Wars license from Disney, that's okay. Disney, and if Disney's, it would have to be, let me put this out. I want FFG and Asmodee Games, FFG specifically, but Asmodee Games in general, to be as blameless as possible when it comes to should the Star Wars license ever go back to Disney. Should that happen, I want 100% of the blame to be put on Disney. Oh, they want to charge more for a license. I'm blaming on Disney, because guess what? Disney cannot afford to lose money. They cannot afford to be told that, well, because you want to charge another 20% or 10%, 20% on your license when we're in a niche market and we're in a downturn right now. No, don't do that. Disney needs to take 5 minutes to realize that, okay, who's going to buy it? Because as long as you hold the license, no one's making product and you're losing money. And people remember that. And if you hand it back to Hasbro, forget it. I'm not interested in Saga Edition 2.0. I'm not interested in their blind bag gambling mechanic of, if you're doing a draft, then you're stuck with whatever unit you open. And then here's a hero unit that's so great. And then you look at the rules and it's like, he's unplayable. Pure and simple. But yeah, I mean, for me, wish list aside, I'm hoping for some new stuff. Transfaction, Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious, and that's Chancellor and Emperor. Wookiee transfaction, because let's face it, they serve with the Republic. And other units, transfaction units. A fifth faction where it's more of a mercenary faction. Here's a niche deal, niche army, here's a Tusken army, and you have where, they're a Tusken-only force, then they do get a XYZ ability or whatever. They're mercenaries. Bring some units, change some units around like Boba Fett, the bounty hunters have where they're a faction, but the bounty hunters, so forth. So, but that's my take on it. So let me know if it's a good deal, bad deal, and hopefully this goes good. My name is Justin. This is from Serene Gaming. Good luck, Godspeed, and hopefully we get some good. This keeps going good for everyone. I'm hoping that in the last video I did about Edge Studios, they do better. They have to do better, because if they give up that license because of no product, then forget it. You might as well just give it back to the FFG in the beginning. Anyway, y'all have a good day now. My name is Justin. See ya.